Greetings programs, Jose here from Rivian Tracker. Today we're going to be talking about the latest software update from Rivian 2025.38, which is just starting to roll out to everyone around the world, or the country, or North America, wherever you may be. And obviously Connect Plus users will get the update before everybody else. But this update brings a lot of fun quality of life features that I feel like a lot of us have been asking for a long time. Plus maybe some spooky fun, but not in this video. Stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's get started and talk about what's new and improved in 2025.38. Many people have been asking about digital key. Rivian announced that digital key would be rolling out in the last update, 34, but that never happened. And in 38, it seems to be missing in action as well. I don't have any news to share about digital key. I've asked Rivian, but they have not shared really any details other than they're continuing to work on it through some bugs and some small issues that they're running into. But they want to make sure that they roll it out as good and perfect as possible. So we're just waiting to see what happens with that. I'm still very hopeful that we'll see it before the end of the year. We still have at least 2 more software updates, November and December, that we'll see before the end of the year. And there's still a bunch of fun things that Rivian has told us they'll be rolling out at least before the end of 2025. So we'll see if they keep to that promise, specifically with things such as digital key, the rad tuner, which is for the new quad, and as well as kick turn, which unfortunately seems to have been delayed just a little bit, but Rivian continues to promise that it will roll out before the end of the year. So we'll see what happens with that, but I don't have any news to share on those things. I know a lot of people are excited for digital key. Fortunately, just no information on that just yet. Now let's talk about additional improvements. Rivian has quite a list of additional improvements. I have them here on my iPad. So let's go through them and talk about like the big highlights of this. Number 1, improve the reliability of the touch sensor in the driver door to tap to unlock. This is specifically for Gen 2 owners. The door on the driver's side, the little dimple that's on there, if you tap and press that, it will open the door. So if you have proximity unlock turned off at home, for example, like I do, you can go up to the door, press that little dimple, and the doors will unlock. So Rivian has continued to play around and improve that sensor. Something tells me that has something to do with digital key, but truly, it's always nice to see it get improved anyways. Rivian has also improved the navigation in terms of the zoom functionality, in terms of, when you're driving and you have navigation turned on, more particularly, how it zooms in and zooms out. I still think there's a lot of work to be done on that side of things, and I've let Rivian know my thoughts and feelings on how I feel about the zooming. I definitely think that right now what it doesn't seem to do is when you're at a traffic light or a stop sign or something, I feel like the map should zoom in to show you the really close details of where you are. For example, if there's like a plaza nearby with restaurants and shopping, you may want to be able to see in detail everything that's like in there. Right now, it doesn't seem like it zooms in well enough to be able to show that, and I think that's a problem. So I hope that Rivian will continue to take feedback and improve the navigation. Sorry, a little stuffy. In the camping, Rivian has improved the leveling by allowing you to reposition the vehicle during the leveling process without having to reset the ride height. So previously, if you were adjusting the ride height of your Rivian in camping mode, right, to level the vehicle out, as soon as you shifted into drive, it would reset it, put everything back to how it was. Well, according to Rivian, and thanks to someone with the name Adorable Wolf 8387 over on Reddit, they took that feedback and said, hey, we'll pause the leveling, right? So you can adjust yourself at low speeds, right? So if you need to readjust yourself without having to reset the whole leveling process, so that it doesn't take forever and a day again to once again level out your vehicle. So great news on that. From the gear guard front, Rivian has fixed an issue that caused a 5-minute delay when you open the incidents tab, clicked on an incident notification, and waited for the list of available incident videos to appear. I never waited 5 minutes, and I feel sorry for the person who had to wait there and figure out how long this took. But I did experience this issue where I would tap on incidents and it would like just be blank, and then eventually it would load. I never waited the 5 minutes. I would just kind of leave and go back to do other things, but I understand that. Fix an issue that prevented the system from identifying a USB device after a sleep cycle. Fix an issue during USB device setup that would prompt you to shift the vehicle into park even though it was already in park. Sometimes you have to wonder like how these bugs happen. I'm a developer. I understand that bugs just happen, but some of these like are just like, huh? Makes you scratch your head a little bit. Fix an issue related to casting certain DRM content through Google Cast. You will have to re-accept the terms and conditions to use Google Cast, but that should be fixed now. I know that's been kind of an ongoing issue that Rivian fixed a couple of updates back after Quinn over at Snazzy Labs noticed a big issue with lag in the UI. So good on Rivian to continue to fix that. And then battery and charging. Once again, Rivian continues to improve 12-volt battery health detection, which now includes in-vehicle and mobile app notifications to alert you when your 12-volt battery needs to be replaced. Rivian, and not just Rivian, but I feel like a lot of EV manufacturers really do suffer with the 12-volt battery, which makes me wonder, and I really don't know the answer to this, but I wonder how the 48-volt battery architecture on the Tesla Cybertruck is. I wonder if it's much better improved. If you're familiar with that, leave a comment below. I'd love to know, but 12-volt batteries seem to be the Achilles heel of EVs, and Rivian specifically, where if you do have a 12-volt battery issue, you need to take it in for service, get it replaced, and it just seems to be a big pain in the behind. But not only that, if you do have a 12-volt battery issue, we've learned through a lot of owner reports that your vehicle will no longer accept over-the-air updates until that's resolved. The issue is that sometimes your vehicle doesn't tell you that there's a 12-volt issue. So seeing Rivian improve upon this by continuing to release updates that talk to your vehicle and give you this information is a huge win, because it definitely needs to be shared and honestly proactively, right? If the battery starts degrading, the 12-volt battery starts degrading, I feel like if there's a way for Rivian to inform you in advance to get that fixed, that would be wonderful. So once again, it's just good to see Rivian continue to talk and improve on that. So massive win there. Now, that's all the additional improvements. A lot of that Gen 1, Gen 2. And the good thing about this update in particular with .38 is that pretty much there's parity between both Gen 1 and Gen 2. What I mean by that is that the updates that we're talking about here pretty much coincide to both generations of the vehicles, right? There's no big enough updates where it's like, oh, this is only for Gen 2 specifically. So that's, again, trying to keep the Gen 1 owners happy by Rivian releasing updates that kind of provide a parity between both of them. So 10 out of 10 on that. So let's talk about some of the new improvements that Rivian has made to climate. One of the biggest requested features that people have asked is called Climate Hold, which lets you hold the climate in the vehicle at a specific temperature and fan speed for a designated amount of time. Now, you might be saying, Jose, Pet Comfort Mode does that. And yes, you're right. Pet Comfort Mode does kind of do that, but it is not ideal, right? Pet Comfort Mode adjusts the temperature of your vehicle to make sure that your pet, dog, cat, whatever it may be, is happy at a specific temperature, right? So it doesn't freeze them, it doesn't make them hot. So let's talk about how Climate Hold works. If we go into the HVAC menu here, there's a new little button here that says Hold. And if I tap on this little pencil, it will bring up a clock where I can set and adjust how long I want Climate Hold to stay on for. Minimum is 2 hours, with the maximum being 8 hours. So you can come in here and say, I want my climate to hold for 6 hours and 30 minutes. I'm going to click turn on, and boom, now your hold is set for 6 hours and 30 minutes, and it will begin counting down from there. You can also see that at the bottom here on the main, the bottom lower quadrant, it says hold and hold. So you know that you have Climate Hold enabled. If you tap on it again and you tap on the hold button, it will turn it off. If you tap on hold, it will turn it on as well. If you come here to the quick menu and swipe on over, you also have the hold function there as well. So you can come in here and turn it on, turn it off, hit the little pencil to adjust if you like, and boom, there you have it. You have hold set. Right below that, you have pet comfort mode, which is specifically designated for pets. So you'll be using that if you're leaving your cat or your dog or whatever may be in the vehicle for pet comfort mode. So that's just something to note that Rivian really calls out, is specifically to make sure that you don't confuse both of them. That pet comfort mode is specifically designed to for certain behaviors, right? Like it makes sure that the windows can't be like accidentally lowered or rolled up or down. It also makes sure that they can't accidentally boop the screen with their nose and adjust the temperature or anything like that. So that's just something to think about. Pet comfort still exists. If you click turn on, it will adjust and bring that up. I gotta yell now. Turn that off. Come back here. Boom, we'll bring this back down so you can hear me, and we'll do hold. And again, you can hold whatever you like. So if you bring the temperature up to 65, it will hold it there, or you can press down to low, whatever you want, it will hold the temperature there. Now, let me show you the mobile app. If we come here to the Rivian mobile app on the iPad, I don't have another phone, so I'm gonna have to show you what it looks like on the iPad. So here we have the iPad, and if I scroll down to climate, I do need to pair my phone, so I won't be able to do it, but there is a new function here that says hold. And just like the screen, you can hit edit to adjust the screen or hit hold. Now, if I come back to the screen here and hit hold for 8 hours, my iPad, which has the screen, will show a new telltale sign, which is what the little icons here on the top are. And now there's a new one there that says climate running, hold for 8 hours, set to low. So you'll see that there. And then here it says climate set to load, hold for 8 hours. Climate will hold for 8 hours, never leave your child unattended. Of course, I can't edit it because I don't have a key set up, but if you did, you'd be able to turn it on and off here as well if you like. So that is where you can adjust the climate hold in the iPad app, on the, not iPad app, but the iPhone or Android app on your device. Another feature that Rivian has introduced with HVAC is actually called auto air circulation. So if you're not familiar, this is the recirculation button here, and depending on what you have it set to, right now I have it turned off, so recirculation is turned off. What that means is it's pulling fresh air from the outside in. If I tap it one more time, it's now set to recirc, which means it's going to circulate the air within the cabin and not bring in any fresh. But Rivian has added a new option called auto, and what auto does is it automatically will determine the cabin inside, the quality of the air, the energy efficiency and all that, to recirculate the air automatically from the outside when necessary, and then recirculate the air inside the car when it deems necessary. So actually this is a huge improvement because before there was really only an option to keep it on or off. And for some reason, if you had it on, like if you had recirculation turned on like this, it would occasionally randomly turn off and start bringing in fresh air from the outside. The problem is you don't always want that, especially if you're driving a highway or you're stuck in traffic where there's smelly smells outside. Maybe there's a diesel vehicle in front of you and it suddenly now starts pulling in that nasty air. So that's not convenient. Well, now Rivian has this auto functionality where you can come in here and set it to auto, which is the third option, and it will automatically circulate air in and out. If you don't want that, you can keep circulation turned off, or you can keep circulation turned on, and it will remember this per profile. So this is set on a user level, and it will remember the next time you come into the vehicle, which is very nice. And if you're not really sure what to do with this, you can just leave it in auto, which is a safe bet. So that is what the new auto circulation feature is in the Rivian HVAC menu. All right, and the third, last but not least, HVAC improvement that Rivian has made is that they've enabled a function called auto cabin ventilation. This is a new setting that will automatically blow ambient air temperature or air into the vehicle when it's parked on warm days when it's extremely high temperatures inside the cabin. And this will allow the cabin to cool down without using your HVAC. So it's just bringing in ambient temperature from the outside. By default, this is enabled, but if you don't like it and you want to turn it off, you can come in here to the little three dots, hit settings, And then from here, you have a new option under vehicle called climate. And here you have the one setting, which is called auto cabin ventilation. Automatically ventilate the cabin on extremely warm days. If you don't want it, you can turn it off. Boom, that's it. If you do want it, which it is on by default, you don't have to worry about it. There it is. And because it's using, it's not really using HVAC, it's just bringing in ambient air temperature, or like air from the outside. This should really not impact your battery or see any phantom drain. So I would not worry too much about that situation. You can also adjust this setting in the app. So if we come back here to the app and we scroll down to climate, if you go all the way down to the bottom, again, I don't have my digital key set up, but you can do automatically ventilate the cabin on extremely warm days, and you can turn it on or off right there at the very bottom of the screen in the Rivian mobile app. And that's it for HVAC improvements. Huge win for Rivian to introduce all of these HVAC improvements in this update. All right, moving on from HVAC improvements, let's talk about some new charger improvements that Rivian has made. So Rivian has now introduced IONNA into the Rivian navigation here. And IONNA is a new charging network that is launching very quickly different charging rechargeries and hubs around the United States. And they're really, really cool locations. I will link below my video of when I went to the grand opening location in Apex, North Carolina last year, which was really cool. So now you have IONNA as a new option here in the network. Now, I don't have an IONNA near me, so we're gonna scroll out. And they are building some IONNA stations near me, but we just don't have it yet. We went just a little bit too far. But like I said, North Carolina has some, and in theory, it should show up here if they've enabled them. As you guys may or may not know, I get early access to the software updates. And so sometimes what that means is that I don't, sometimes some features are still locked until the release goes live. But if we look here at Apex, North Carolina, in theory, if it is enabled, I should be able to pull it up and see exactly the IONNA station that's here. Now, as I wait for it to load, I'm not seeing it, so that means Rivian has not enabled it yet. But by the time this video goes live, you'll be able to go into your network and see it there. You should be able to go here and see it live as well. The other thing is Electrify America. Electrify America has been in the Rivian navigation for forever, right, since the very beginning. But one of the caveats was that with Electrify America is that Rivian would not let you see real-time information on the charger. And that means you wouldn't be able to see if the chargers were online, if they were all being used, or anything like that. So now, with this new update, you can actually see a little bit more information when it comes to Electrify America. You can see the chargers. Now, remember what I just said about IONNA? That it doesn't show you the, it didn't show me the IONNA chargers. Well, again, Rivian has not enabled that feature flag. So this is not available in my video. But by the time this goes live and you see it, you will be able to actually see real-time charger status here, just like any other charger. And I'll show you that in a second. But you'll be able to actually pull in and see, is it working? Is it not working? Is it taken up? Whatnot. And I'll show you an example here. If we pull up Tesla charger nearby, Tesla provides real-time information. So I can come in here, tap on the details, scroll down to the chargers, and see that see what the status is. So up to 325 kilowatt max output, NACS, and they're available. And then down here you have the in-use ones. So these are being used right now. So this is the type of information that we'll get to see from both IONNA and Electrify America, which is going to help, I think, improve the user experience. Actually, recently, not Rivian related, but Electrify America announced that they were rolling this feature out to Google Maps. So if you use Google Maps on your phone and you pull up an Electrify America station, you will be able to see real-time charging status of the chargers there. So it just means that they're rolling out this feature across the board. Before, my understanding was that you had to pay for it or something like that, and the manufacturers were not interested in that. So now we're going to get this functionality there. So keep an eye on IONNA and Electrify America, because those are two great networks. Well, IONNA is great. Electrify America can be a hit or miss, but I'm really hoping that having the transparency of being able to see the charger status and all that, it will help owners be able to actually plan their trips better. And As a return, Rivian navigation will actually be able to see the real status of these chargers and be able to coordinate your navigating your road trip or whatever may be properly by not suggesting a charger that may be offline or not working. So that's a huge win. And while we're talking about this, let's head on over to Electrify America and see how plug and charge works, because that's another thing that Rivian introduced in this update, is that not only can you go to Electrify America or an IONNA station through the navigation here, but now you can show up at one and all you have to do is plug in and that's it. You don't have to fumble around with any app or any credit card or anything like that. As long as you have a credit card attached to your Rivian Rivian app, which you should already have one, it will use that and automatically bill you. Now, what a lot of people have been asking is, Jose, will this work with membership pricing? I have Electrify America membership. Will it work? And the answer is right now, it does not work. So Rivian is potentially working on that. I don't have the full details. They were not ready to provide any information on that just yet. I know they've been working on the Tesla version of that, being able to get your membership pricing with Tesla. So I could see them working with other charge point manufacturers here to get the membership pricing while just plugging and playing in. Now, if you have an Electrify America discounted price, what that means is that when you get to an EA station, you'll want to do everything through the app before you plug in, because if you just were to plug in, it's going to start billing you at the normal rate because it's plug and charge. So just think about that. But we're going to head over here in a second to an Electrify America station and see how plug and charge works. So with the magic of editing, I will snap my finger. All right, we are here at the charger. We're at this EA Electrify America charging station here at my local Costco. There's a Hummer EV charging and loading up his Costco goodies. So the screen's not blinking. That's just the LED refresh rate. We're going to go ahead and plug in. I don't really need to charge, but the goal here is to try out this new Electrify America plug and charge. This is the first time I'm charging using the plug and charge for the Rivian with the new software. So you're going to get to experience everything like I am. So we're just going to get off. We're going to go plug in and we're going to see what this looks like. So all the trial and error, it may work, it may not work, who really knows? So right, plug in first. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I have plugged in. It says connecting to vehicle. This may take a moment. Again, I have not opened the app. I haven't done anything with the Electrify America app. This is all being done through Rivian's plug and charge. Processing. Authorized. Okay, that's good news. Initiating charging. I just heard the contactors click on the Rivian. Thank you for choosing Electrify America. There goes the charger. Let's see, do we get green lights? There we go, guys. We are charging using Rivian and Electrify America's connectivity here at Costco. And we are charging now up. Everything is, I just got an alert here on my phone saying that a $5 authorization, or I'm not sure how much the authorization was. It didn't say. So let's go look in the vehicle. We're charging. And if we come in here, charging speed is reduced. That's fine. We're going to change this because I don't like it showing me mile per hour. So we're going to go to charging. Tap this. And now we see here 151 kilowatts, 20 minutes remaining to charge. Again, charging speed reduced by charging station. This is a balance shared, so that's pretty typical, and it's busy. There's cars everywhere, so I'm not worried. Now, I don't see estimated price, so it does not look like Rivian is pulling in pricing directly into the vehicle, at least from this experience so far. Again, this is my first time charging using EA plug and charge. So but it is working. Boom. We are charging. And didn't even have to open the EA app, which is fantastic. Some would even say it is phenomenal. Yep. If you had that on your Bring Your card, go ahead and give you that one for free. We're charging up 151 kilowatts. Like I said, I didn't really need to charge. This was, you know, just me coming in. I'm going to go to Costco now and get a wiener and a soda, because why not? But yeah, we are charging. And this Electrify America station actually does not accept pricing plan. So if you hit on the pricing button, you will see that guest 52 kilowatt hours. Even though here it says that it does, you know, approve thingies, it doesn't. It said it didn't. Here, let me show you what I mean by that, because I think it's important to know this, that some locations will not accept. So here we go. Pricing is not determined by EA. So yeah, it said it, but it went away. But anyways, I digress. We're charging, and we didn't have to open the app at all. So that's a massive win for everybody. Appreciate that. Rivian and Electrify America for working together. There was almost an accident there. There's a car honking like crazy. But anyways, if we come exit, boom. I don't know why. Okay, it refreshed. There we go. So yep, we're charging. There it is. We're here at Costco. It's about to rain. I'm gonna go inside for a minute. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and watching this. I'll return back to Jose, where we'll continue talking about all the other fun stuff in .38. All right, last but certainly not least, this is actually an interesting one, because Rivian actually used to offer this, and then they kind of changed the design a bit, and then it seems like a lot of people were not happy with it. So pretty much, we call this down here the app launcher. If you're a Mac user, the dock. But Rivian calls it the app launcher. And the app launcher usually holds 5 of your most recent apps, or 5 of your favorite apps, and then it would show you the most recent app that you had open. Well, Rivian has kind of, I don't want to say backtracked, but they brought back what it used to be, which was, hey, here are the icons, but also, if you just tap these 3 little dots, it brings up the rest of your apps. Before, in order to get to that, you'd have to swipe up. Swipe up still works. But if you're like me, sometimes swiping up meant that your map would move around and do some weird stuff. So now you can either swipe up, or you can tap the 3 little dots. And you can also edit by clicking this edit button here. So there's a couple of options here. You can actually drag an app down, and if you drag it over another icon, it will replace it. You can also drag an icon out of the way, right? Or on top of it, and it will move it down, you know, we'll put it there. Or you can drag an icon completely out of the way because you don't want it, and then click on show recent apps. And the way that works is that if I go here and hit settings, it will now show me the settings icon. So now it will show me 4 of my favorite apps plus a recent app. Recent being, maybe I go to video, there's the video app. Maybe I go to camping, there's the camping app. Here's the thing. If you want to have 5 icons here permanently, you can't have recent app enabled. So if you come in here and bring settings back down, and then try to do recent app, it's going to say, hey, you need to remove an app to make room for your most recently used app. Boom. And now you've enabled that. So just think as a thought process, you know, I like having these 5 apps here, and then having the dots that I can go in and tap. So again, you can swipe up to go to any of these, or you can tap. You can also press and hold to adjust. So like if you want to move an icon, you can just press and hold to allow you to move the icon over to wherever you like. I gotta say, this is way more intuitive than iOS on Apple products makes the jiggling of the apps. So 10 out of 10 on Rivian for creating a good app launcher experience. But that is your new app launcher there, where you can have these icons set. You can click on the 3 dots to bring that up, or you can also just swipe up to bring it in. Swipe up, swipe down, swipe up, swipe down. Whatever you like is also nice. Whoops. Yeah, that's going to be your app launcher experience. All right, before I forget, one more thing. A couple little things, UI things that Rivian has changed here. They didn't really talk about it in their release notes, but Jose noticed. These pills that show the temperature definitely changed, right? They became a little bit smaller and more compact, which is nice. This passenger airbag off. Right now, there's nobody in the passenger seat. This changed the way it looks. Also, check this out. Tapping on the cooled seat. This is much bigger now. Look at that. This is a much better user experience with the big buttons. So before it used to be tiny. this is a much better user experience when clicking on those. Also, if you tap volume, this is a brand new volume experience here. So I'm you can scroll with your finger. Tap, 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 tap. You can mute. And you can tap on the source there to be able to adjust volume on any of the other sources you have here. So as you can see, Rivian has adjusted this menu to do, to make it a little bit better and to fit their aesthetic better now as well. So you can tap, tap, tap. If you press and hold volume, it will mute it. If you press and hold it again, it will unmute it. That's a new feature as well. So that's really neat to see there. So Rivian continues to make small UI changes throughout their UI. Overall, though, everything else is actually pretty snappy. I'm pretty happy with it. Not too bad, not too shabby. I think there's still work to be done, but I know they're working on it and they continue to improve it. So I'm not going to give them too much crap for that. And don't forget to wave at GearGuard, because you should always wave at our friend GearGuard. Yeah, so that's kind of it on the UI experience with 2025.38. Well, everybody, that is 2025.38 in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was better. I'm trying to improve the quality and the speed of things. I don't want to dwell on things too much. I can talk forever, as I'm sure some of you know. Yeah, so I'm just trying to be better about it. And I hope you enjoyed this video, this deep dive into 2025.38. A lot of other content creators in the Rivian community are fantastic and they cover a lot of this stuff, but I want to deep dive into it so you get all the little nooks and crannies and details and all that. So I hope you enjoy that. Thanks again for supporting me, for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment below what your favorite 2025.38 feature is. And if there's another video you'd like me to see me do in the future, let me know in the comments as well. I love to interact. I'll be down there talking to you guys. And that's all I've got. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys. Bye.